Hello and welcome to this overview. We look at trade data reports, bank reports, cash reports, and probably other current asset reports. Now, among the trade data, we got the data summary and reconciliation, data's control account, and the annual data. We got bank reports. We'll look at them shortly. Now, let's start with the detailed data's ledger. Click that. So that one gives us the detailed data's ledger, which shows individual accounts for each of the datas. And remember, there's an explanation for each one of them. Scroll down till we get to the bottom. We get the total outstanding to the data that's available at the bottom. Now, after that, we look at report K2. Now, let's scroll up. K2 is the data's control account. Data's control account. It's part of double entry and it shows all transactions recorded onto individual data accounts, including the opening balances. As you can see, BF at the top there, opening balances. And remember, these are just demo transactions, and we're saying the closing balance is 2582. And then after that, let's see, we look at K1, which is the data's summary and reconciliation. Now, this K1 is a summary of the data's control account we've looked at the top. At the top, it is a summary of the data's control account we've looked at. And remember, you can click that to get to the data's control account itself. That's the opening balance, total debits, total credits, and this is the closing balance, 2582, as we have seen. You can rewind to confirm that. And then below here is a reconciliation of the two balances. The two balances is one for the data's control and the other for the data's ledger. Below here is a list of balances in the data's ledger. So the total is 2582, which should be the same as what we have in there. And this one comes from the summary above there. And before this report is presented, there should be a zero difference. If there is any figure not a zero, then it should be investigated. Click this button to get to the individual data accounts. That's report K3. So we finished with the data's reports, and next we proceed to bank reports. Bank reports start in section L, starting with L1. Let's start with L10. L10 are the bank accounts, detailed bank accounts, detailed transactions. Okay, now this caters for accounts 207 to 211. 211, we go back. Let's scroll up to L. Next, we look at now L9 is other bank statements. They should be available in hard copy. It should come from the bank, nowhere else. And then next is L8 is other bank account summary. It's a summary of the accounts in L10. If you want to look at those accounts quickly, this is where you go. Now, the far on top there is the check receipts account, opening balance, total debits, total credits, and the closing balance. Now, unfortunately, for the two top accounts, there is no reconciliation of the balances because there is no external source, external report or statement. So there is no reconciliation for their two figures. Now, below here, we've got account number 3, bank account 3. So we have its opening balance, total debits, total credits, closing balance, 5921. And it should agree with the bank statement balance. And the bank statement balance should be found on report L9. And below here, we've got the fourth bank account. And lastly, we've got the final bank account, which is bank number 5. When you customize its name, it's displayed here. So that is report L8. Go back to L section. Now next we look at report L7, which is the second bank account, the ledger account for the second bank account. So we pinch to see the whole of it. That's it. Detailed account. Any further detail beyond that should be the source documents themselves. And after that, we look at, now L6 is the bank statement for second bank account, and L5 is a summary of the second bank account. It summarizes the main account on L7, and then it gives us an opportunity to expose the difference if there is any. And in this case, if the bank statement balance is 2,000 and the records in the app is 1393, then there's a difference to be investigated. Now on top here, we click that one to go to the detailed account, and that's it. Now we're going to the main bank account, which is L1. L1 up there is the bank account summary. Now let's look at its detailed account. That's on L4. Pinch to see more data on the bank account and pinch out. That is report L4. Account 205. And then we look at, now L3 should be the bank statement, the last bank statement for the main bank account. Of course, it's in form of hard copy. And then L2 is a summary. L2 is a summary of the main bank account. Now, there's a small difference here. We're supposed to split L1 and L2. At the moment, they are together. So let's look at L1 first of all, which is a summary of the main bank account. We have the opening balance, we've got total debits, we've got total credits, and we have the closing balance. Now that figure, the closing balance is duplicated in that cell, and this one is a box for us to type. The balance on the actual bank statement. If they disagree, then it should be investigated before we continue. Now up here is L1. L1 is a list of balances that belong to Note 21 that stretches from account 205 to account 211. Those with balances will definitely appear here. So we're showing the opening balances, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, year-end adjustments, if any. It's very unlikely. And then the closing balance. Now, this 38,830 should appear on the balance sheet. And then these individual balances should be on report B4, which is the notes to financial statements. So we go back. Those are the bank reports. And after that, we look at the cash reports. M2, the detailed cash accounts. You pinch to see more of them. Detailed cash accounts. And then we have the summary of those two cash accounts. That is report M1. Summary of those two cash accounts. We got account 212 at the top and account 213 at the bottom. Now these balances are reconciled with the physical cash account. Now there should be no excuses for differences, although those differences have got to be written off as an expense, as a bad debt. But with proper record keeping, they should agree. In the worst case scenario, okay, normally we should have small differences if there are no other issues. And probably those small differences, we could top them up before we submit this report. So that's the end of the cash reports. And next we'll look at other current asset reports. We've got 3 reports. We'll start with N3, which is other current asset accounts. These are the detailed accounts. Detailed accounts, you pinch to see more. Pinch to see more. And then we go back to, let's go back to report NN2, other current asset summary. Now, that one is a summary of this. So click that, stretching from accounts 214 to 223. So we scroll, let's pinch. It's not responding, should be tired. Oh, it's responding. Oh, there we are. Wasn't touching it properly. Yeah, you pinch, you condense, and you can expand the display as much as you like. So these are the 4 accounts with balances in that category. And remember, you click that blue one to get to the detailed accounts. Now this figure here should be on the balance sheet on B4, and these individual balances, balance sheet is on B2, and these individual balances on the notes to financial statements on B4. Let's go back, and then finally in this category we'll look at N1. N1 should be the prepayment calculations and documents. Ideally, the calculations can be done on this one, and after the calculations are computed, we can print it out, and then on the back of that printout we attach the documents to support whatever. And that brings us to the end of this overview for the 3 categories of, oh, is it 4 categories of reports? We looked at data reports, we looked at bank reports, we looked at cash reports, and other current asset reports. Thank you.